All right, welcome you all to another fun-filled show. I'm your host. He is Blanchard, aka Free Blanche, aka Blanche Stradamus, aka Blanchy Kruger. Today's title is "He That Findeth a Wife." I was talking with a young, young lady yesterday, and a friend of mine. We were all talking, and we were talking about marriage and how difficult it is to date now. What we're looking for, and to me, honestly, the biggest problem in dating is standards. Um, People that don't have standards don't have problems dating. And when I say if you have standards, if you have standards and you meet somebody with standards, you'll either the relationship won't be toxic. It won't be you all may not get married, but the relationship won't cause damage. It won't cause collateral damage. If you get with somebody that has standards. Because standards is really part of your lifestyle. Um, so we were talking and she said something, a broken clock is right twice a day. But let me say this first. So my boy was talking and my boy was like, these are my standards for a woman. And he said, this is it. He said, I'm not budging on them. And I could just see her face and this is a godly woman, grew up in the church, you would look at her and say she's a wifey material, but when he was telling her his standards, he was listing them out, what he expects from a woman. I could just see her like, and she was just resistant to it because deep down inside, most women want the wiggle room. Most women do not like a godly standard. I don't care what they tell you. They want a godly man. They don't want a godly standard. Most women want a godly man because they don't want him to cheat. But when we talk about a godly man, there's a godly standard that comes with that godly man. And so most women don't want the standard. They want the man, but not the standard. No different than woman saying, I want the rich guy, but I don't want to deal with rich guy behavior. So it's the same thing. But I just saw her face and she was rejecting it because she still engages in foolishness and chaos. There are two types of men in the world. There's a wise man, there's a foolish man. There is no in between. The world has lied to us. Most women are out here looking for that in between guy. He has an edge to him. He's tough. He's a little hood, but he's also respectable. He's also smart. Like, it's just foolishness. There are going to be two types of men in the world, wise or foolish. That's it. There's no in between. And you're going to know very quickly whether or not he's wise or foolish. For most of you women out there, the guy that agrees with you a lot, he's foolish. Dear ladies, if you meet a guy and he's not pushing back on most of what you're saying, he's foolish. He wants to sleep with you, or he's a simp, beta, cuck. I mean, whatever you want to pick. If you encounter a righteous, God-fearing man, he's probably not going to agree with most of the stuff you're talking about. He's probably not. He's probably going to be challenging you all the time. I'm just being honest. And so, but the young lady, she said something that was good last night, though. She said something that was kind of profound. So let me read what she said. I took notes. She said that your husband or your wife should be a person that you are sure of, meaning that you're certain that this person is your husband or your wife. The second thing is faithful. The person that you select, you need to be able to be faithful to them. So we have a certainty with the person, being able to be faithful. And the last component is holy. Does this person push you towards being more holy, being more righteous, or do they make it more difficult? So I'm going to say that most women that you encounter, fellas, they're going to make it difficult for you to be holy, because most women, the best thing a woman can do is to preserve herself. They say, I'm not going to give the world access to me. That's the best thing she can do, is just separate herself from the world. I'm gonna stay in this house and I'm just going, But most women are indulged in the world because the world highlights women's bodies, women's beauty. It just highlights a woman, her hair, her nails. It highlights every feature, feet, every feature of a woman. There's a fetish for it, and the world highlights it, especially in these Western countries where feminism is running rampant. And so, fellas, most of the women that you meet, they're gonna be pulling you from God. Just to be honest with you, I mean, I hate to be this way, but it just is what it is. Most women that you meet are already talking to Satan. They've been talking to Satan for years. Now I know you're gonna say, "Well, Blanche, I'm not talking to Satan." Everyone I talk to, they all tell me the same script. I get the same script, the same story, but the more I talk to them, the more I hear Satan. I'm just be honest with you. That's why the best thing for a woman to do is just go sit down, be still, open that Bible up, and wait to be found by a good man. That's what, she can get a degree, it ain't gonna matter. She can pick up a trade or a skill, if she's not sitting down and being still, it's all for naught. So I tell any man, most men are going to pick the wrong woman. Most women are going to marry the wrong man. Y'all, we're really working with about 5% of the population, to be honest with you. If you really want to find somebody that's tried and true, about 5% of the population. That means if you see 100 people, 5 of them may possibly be a match for you. When it comes to this dating, it's a lot like spades. You might just have 2 in the possible. I'm just being out of 100. It might be 2 in the possible out of 100. So you see 100 people, 2 in a possible. So I hate to bring doom and gloom. I hate to make it Cass Sinclair said, why is that? It's like that because most women listen to Satan and most men are weak for vagina. That's it. It's that simple. Most women listen to Satan and most men are weak for vagina. So that means that most men are inadvertently submitting to Satan through the woman. Figgy said, you can find lots in Canada. Now listen, when I went to Canada, I don't know if y'all been I've been to Toronto. I don't know if y'all been to Toronto. I will have to say, hands down, in all of my travels, I've seen the most beautiful and down-to-earth women were in Canada, in Toronto. I don't know about all of Canada. I'm talking about just Toronto. The most beautiful and down-to-earth women I've met were in Toronto. Women that will come to America and dominate, they like a dime a dozen in Canada. It's like I'm being honest. Like you go to Toronto, like beautiful women is it's not even nothing. It's like it's nothing. It's nothing. You would stand out more in Toronto being ugly than you would looking good because most women there they look good. Anyway, my point is, Toronto hands down has the most beautiful and down-to-earth women I've seen thus far. Now, that just goes without saying, but I was in the world then, so I can't, I got to judge it. I got to go now and judge it. But I will say that I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, and yes, and they're natural. So, but I say all that to say that most people are going to pick the wrong person. I think he said in their culture. I would say that. I would say they're more cultured. They're more ladylike, they're more feminine, they're more yeah, because most of the time their parents are from somewhere, like the culture they're under is something like it may be a girl, the dad's from Jamaica, the mom's from China, like, and then they got like Caribbean culture and Chinese culture. Like, I mean, she's not, Figgy's right. There's so many blends of people there to where, yes, they are more cultured, way more cultured. And so you may have better opportunity in Canada than you do in the States. I can assure you right now, any major city in the US, you will have a tough time. Any major city is going to be tough to find a wife. And I would say find a husband too. It's just going to be tough. Anyway, but yeah, so the three things were being sure of the person that you pick, the certainty, being able to be faithful to that person, and does that person push you to be holy? Does that person push you to be righteous? Does that person push you towards being like Christ? And so these are things to consider. But anyway, and for you ladies, your best bet is going to be to not sleep with these men. I tell the men the same thing, because the problem is that whether you want to believe it or not, when you sleep with the person, you already devalue them because they slept with you. Once you sleep with a person, you're in the same category as everybody else that slept with them. You're already diminished. The best thing you can do is not sleep with the person. You, even for the guys, right? You'll get more out of a woman if you don't sleep with her than you will if you sleep with her. I promise you. If you don't sleep with the woman, her respect level for you is going to go up, and vice versa for the men with the women. He's going to respect you more. Yeah. And then Pamela says spirits transfer, souls ties, and all that other stuff. But I'm just saying, I'm trying to give y'all some game. If you want to get married during these last days, I don't want to spend these last days in the apocalypse just fighting zombies, coming home and just cleaning my weapons off. I want to, come home to a woman. But if my last days are spent to be fighting the Antichrist, as my boy said yesterday, then that's what I got to accept my mission. Your mom said that. And again, if a man is truly walking with God, ladies, he is going to value you. He is. He is going to value you, I promise, if he's truly walking with God. But the guy that's walking with God, he's not going to negotiate with you. You're not going to be able to come to the table and say, well, he ain't going to negotiate with you, because he knows what needs to be done. When a man knows what he needs to be done, ladies, it's your job to just get in the car and let's go. And my boy always says this, the adventure that the world tells us is really supposed to be between the man and the woman. We are the adventure. The man and the woman are the adventure, not us in the world. The world has all kind of tricks and snares and traps and all that. The adventure is in between the man and the woman. We are the adventure. We make this thing happen. We are God's plan manifest. Think about it. God said, be fruitful and multiply, replenish the earth and subdue it. So think about it. The adventure that God ordained for us is between the man and the woman. And as we established before, that the relationship is for the man. God created the relationship between man and woman for the man. The man makes the relationship about both of them. That's what Adam did. So that means that a godly man is going to see about you women. We always see when the the married couple, the wife always gets the nice car. Your granddad rode around in the beat up pickup truck, but your grandma had the Cadillac, or your grandma had the Benz. I'm just saying. The woman got the nice car, like the woman. Listen, man. He that findeth, whoso findeth the wife, findeth a good thing, and obtaineth favor of the Lord. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about how honorable God is for a man to be out there truly doing the work. And in all his endeavors, he finds a wife and God rewards him with favor. But guess what, ladies? The favor ain't just for him, because if he got the favor, then guess what? You got it too. So now you see that God's even rewarding you for being found as a wife. God is honorable. He gonna honor the man and he gonna honor the woman. Ladies, y'all job is easy. Candy said, "Not in my marriage, I always got the trash car." That's bad. I listen, as a man, I wouldn't even feel right with my wife driving. I wouldn't even like. I would feel like folks would be like, "Look, this man got his wife." I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I just wouldn't feel right doing it. I got to be able to sleep at night. I can't sleep at night knowing my wife gotta crank that old Chevy up. I can't do it. Anyway, remember the three things again. You got to be sure of the person. You got to be faithful to the person, and that person has to be pushing you closer to Christ. Let's continue. Let me find this. Where is the video? Oh, that's crazy, y'all. I don't see it. That's crazy, y'all. Tripping? It's in alphabetical order. That's crazy, y'all. That's crazy. Let me try it again, y'all. Let me try it again, because that's crazy. Let me try one more time, y'all. That's crazy. All right, hold on 1 second, IG. That's crazy. That is crazy, y'all. That's crazy. And it's sitting right here on it. It don't make any sense. Why is it not showing up? I missed Pamela's question. What's Pamela's question? Pamela, what's your question? Okay, it's on here. Let me. It's crazy, man. Let me see, Blanche, I have a question. Why is it so many men, especially black men that aren't married, are getting married? You think it's an increase in black men getting married? I think it has a lot to do with I think it has a lot to do with the I think it's the information age. Hope you all can hear me. Even stuff that is um biblical, we have more access to. Even stuff that's more conservative, like information age is everything. It's the rabbit hole stuff, conspiracy theory stuff, but it's also the good stuff. It's everything. So I think that men are waking up in the sense that they are hold on one second. Let me just do this real quick. Um, I think there's a lot of information out there, a lot more pastors on social media. I think there's more of a push for marriage. Like I said, conservatism has been rising over the past 5 years. Yeah, I just think it's just a culture shift. And we know from voting trends that more black men are conservative than black women. So yeah, it's going to be tough for black men though, because most black women are not conservative. Most black women are already giving way to Satan. It's just sorry to say that. I'm sorry to say it. It's just true. Most black women have heard one young lady say they're agents of the government. I would call them communist agents. Most black women. So, but I would say that there is going to be a rise in marriage. There's going to be a rise in what they call nationalism. There's going to be a rise in white pride, which isn't a bad thing. There's going to be a rise in Western culture. It's going to be a lot of pushback, but there's going to be a rising, to me, with the rising of Western culture, Western values. All the other races do the same thing. If you think about it, during the quote unquote most oppressed time of America, black folks got married the most. And it's because the culture of the country was a certain way. There wasn't anything as being woke. There was liberals, but there wasn't this huge woke agenda back then. So the dominant culture was, get married, go to church, have a job, have a family. That was the culture of the country. I'm not married and I push marriage. I wish I had this. I was going to get married when I was younger, but I was it was crazy. There was a period in my life when I was really into the church, but I was at my most decadent. If that makes sense. Like it's crazy because the more I was into, it was a time period I was into the church heavy, but I was also the most foolish. It was crazy as I look back on it. Any more questions while this stuff is loading up? um, yeah, a rise up of the Republic of the United States, yes. And again, everything in life has pros and cons. It's not just all cons. So, like I said, we're in an information age, but all information is being shared. Benefits of marriage, value in marriage, value of a good husband, value of a good wife, value of a family. Like these things are being highlighted now. There's whole pages dedicated to traditional wives, whole pages dedicated to men being men. So, to me, it's a beautiful thing. And it's sad to say that the culture that was dominated by Black America Marriage wasn't a big think about when Black people, now it's pushback, but much of American culture is Black. I'm not saying that Black people actually create the culture, but the culture is popularized through Black people. And Black folks had a pretty long reign, but I think that's not coming to an end, but it's being challenged. And it's being challenged with godly values. Y'all got any more questions? Yes, sexual revolution changed all that. Mountain Woman said, I see nature. She said, when liberals call Trump orange, I see an orange blossom. I do believe the majority of men do want to get married and have a family. Yes, I would agree with that. The majority of men across the board do want to get married. I think what deters a lot of men, honestly, is the risk factor. You know, marrying somebody, because most men that get married, they're not thinking about divorce. So most men are thinking about the rest of my life. And so to me, it's a tougher decision for a man than it is for a woman. Most women are already thinking about the exit plan. If it ain't this by 3 years, I'm out. If it ain't, you wouldn't believe how many women I talked to that said they knew before they got married that he wasn't going to be like he wasn't the one. And I'm just like, why'd you get married? Like, it's just, so women are already with a plan B, C, and D, escape hatch. My boy says women are already, they already have their plan B. They already know they can play around. And then when they get, older, 35 plus, they already know they can get a cent or a beta, and I see all the time, even in my life, women that have, been married, got divorced, they come back, or women that they did a long time ago, they come back. It's always a recycle. Women coming back because they always have a plan B. Most men don't have a plan B. The woman he chooses to marry is who he's going to marry, who he wants to be with. Yes, AII. 80% of divorces are initiated by women, and that's very telling. Most men will go through the marriage and suffer. Most women will not. It just is what it is. That's based on data. It just is what it is. So I'm gonna say this, right? I'm only going to use myself as an example, and y'all gotta forgive me. If I'm gonna try to pull through this whole thing. I'm just being honest, but do most men know right away? In my opinion, no. Being on both sides of this thing, being on the decadent heathen side and being on the side of a man trying to be like Christ, I would say that no, because what it takes to vet a godly woman is not going to be seen at the first encounter. Now, you might see her and say she has potential, but to say off the top, no. I believe that it is a process. It's a vetting process, and a lot of it is the woman submitting. A lot of it is the woman getting rid of worldly ideologies. A lot of it is the woman, not listening to Satan. That is a lot of it on this side. When I'm saying that, when I'm talking about a guy that's truly trying to follow behind the footsteps of Christ, most of what he's going to encounter is the woman being of the world, even if she says that she's a godly woman, even if she goes to church, even if she does all of these things. Like 9 out of 10, she's talking to Satan, just because a woman has to literally separate herself from the world to have oil in her lamp. I'm just being honest with you. Most women aren't going to want to do it. Most women like the attention. Most women want to go out and have fun. Most women want to travel. Most women want to indulge in the world. So the chances of you meeting a woman that's like this, tunnel vision for God, is going to be rare. Not saying impossible, is going to be rare. And for you ladies, rare for men too. The difference is it's just more men than it is women, in my opinion. AII said, women's lib is like a new toy to a child. Women's lib is like a new toy to a child. Jojo Max said, correct. I've been with my girl for 18 years, and I doubted the first few years. Now I know. Had to let my old ways go too. Yeah. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Shoot. Man, I messed up my, hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second, y'all. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. Sorry about that. Let me see if I got these videos pulled up. I was about to say. Okay, let me find this young lady.
And do what God has him to do, because on the Adam a suitable helpmate. And he made that helpmate not because she's weaker, but because God has given men a capacity and a responsibility that women do not have. And we have to be honest about it. We can say he's not a man, he doesn't know how to lead, he doesn't whatever. There's still a capacity inside of him that God did not give us as women. And one of the biggest examples that I can give of that, imagine it's raining and you're in New York City. And if you've ever been to New York City or in France and it starts raining and people start selling umbrellas on the street, those $5, $10 umbrellas, they're not worth much, but they get the job done until you get home. Imagine you have that man. You have the man that gets the job done, isn't anything special, but he gets the job done. That man, no matter how little you view him, is made to handle the rain. You were not made to handle the rain, but you were made to hold up that which can handle the rain. If you didn't have that umbrella, you would come back home smelling like what you were poured on, what poured on you. When a man comes back in as that umbrella, he gets dried quickly, water repellent, it falls off of him, and no matter how equipped you thought he still was built for the rain. The difference also, some of you want that Neiman Marcus umbrella. Some of you want the wood handle. Those things are heavy. And if God gave you a man like that, then you have to be the woman that can hold up that man. Because an umbrella that is not used, it can be for the rain, for the sun. It shields, it provides shade. It allows what's under it not to be touched. We are the vessel, not weaker. We are the vessel that was meant to let the one that God gave us be held up and used for what he was made. So now, as a wife, I want to say, I don't want to get wet. I don't want to sunburn. My skin's not built for that. So instead, I'm going to let the man be who he was meant to be. And if God gave me, which he did, my man's about as heavy as this table. That means God made me capable of holding him up. If my man is not doing what he was made to do, it's because I, as his wife, am not holding him up. One thing I will credit myself to is that man can come and do what God has him to do, because on the back end, he is being held up and held down. Not about me, but to say this about submission. If you think submission.
Okay, I have a question here. Do you believe that not all women are called to be wives? I heard a Christian influencer say this, and I wholeheartedly disagree. I believe it's God designed that all women be wives, not out here single. I'm gonna just say this about, if you are not going to be married, this is for men and women. If you say, I don't want to be married, then you need to be like Paul. If you're not going to be married, then your entire life needs to be dedicated to the Lord. Are you going to do that? Because just people saying everybody can't be a husband or a wife, are you going to go out there single and give your whole life to God? Because you got all the time in the world. Now you have to worry about a spouse, children, home, none of that. You can go out there and so are you going to dedicate 110% of your life to Christ? You're not. So the people that, quote unquote, aren't supposed to be husbands or wives, then their lives are dedicated fully to the gospel. Otherwise, for the 99.99999%, we're supposed to be married. Because me, myself, personally, I believe that a man, his potential is unlocked when he is caring for his wife and his family. In my opinion, that brings out the best in a man. I don't think anything else can bring that out of a man. Now, again, we talk about Paul. Paul is different. Paul said, I'm going to give God 110%. I'm going to be responsible for the gospel. Not all of it, but a lot of it, most of it. Are y'all going to do that? No, you're not. So you need to be married. Right. I'm going to play this again to go through her analogy.
God made Adam a suitable helpmate. And he made that helpmate not because she's weaker, but because God has given men a capacity and a responsibility that women do not have. And we have to be honest about it. We can say he's not a man, he doesn't know how to lead, he doesn't whatever. There's still a capacity inside of him that God did not give us as women. And one of the biggest examples that I can give of that, imagine it's raining.
So what she said was, no matter how bad of a leader you think this man is, no matter how bad of a man you think he is, no matter how weak you think he still was created with the capacity to lead. Whether or not he does it is another thing. It's one thing, but he was created with the capacity to lead. That means him going from degenerate to leader is a choice he can make, but it's already in him. When it comes to women, that's not in you all. It's not. So when you are trying to lead as a woman, it's not organic, as we like to say. It's not ordained. A woman should not be leading a man. I've never listened to a woman and it turned out right. Now, I don't mean listen to a woman. I'm talking about with some major stuff.
And you're in New York City. And if you've ever been to New York City or in France and it starts raining and people start selling umbrellas on the street, those $5, $10 umbrellas, they're not worth much, but they get the job done until you get home. Imagine you have that man. You have the man that gets the job done, isn't anything special, but he gets the job done. That man, no matter how little you view him, is made to handle the rain. You were not made to handle the rain.
You were not made to handle the rain. Not only is the man built to handle the rain, but it's also not a burden for him to do it. It's not a chore. Like he can handle the rain as a part of who he is. It's a normal, seamless effort for him to do because he was built for that. Just like women, it's normal and seamless to be a nurturer, to nurture. A-double-I said Christ, it's Christ, it's man, it's woman, it's child. That's the order. And Mountain Woman said that we should be submitting to God. What makes you husband material is submission to God. What makes you wife material is submission to God. So if you can't submit to God, you're not going to be able to submit to your husband. You're not. It just is what it is. And husbands also submit to their wives, submit to one another. But the husband's submission to the woman is different than the woman's submission to the man. Because the woman is following the man's leadership. What the man is submitting to is her needs. What are her needs? Non-sexual affection is the number one, well, not number one, sorry. Number one need of a woman is security. Security. When a woman is sizing a man up, that is what her natural instinct is telling her. Can he protect me? Second is provision. Can he provide? Third is non-sexual affection. Non-sexual affection.
But you were made to hold up that which can handle the rain. If you didn't have that umbrella, you would come back home smelling like what you were poured on, what poured on you. When a man comes back in as that umbrella, he gets dried quickly, water repellent, it falls off of him, and no matter how equipped you thought he still was built for the rain. The difference also, some of you want that Neiman Marcus umbrella. Some of you want the wood handle. Those things are heavy. And if God gave you a man like that, then you have to be the woman that can hold up that man.
Again, to whom much is given, that much more is required. but women never apply that verse to a relationship. To whom much is given, that much more is required. So if a godly man that's worth his weight in gold finds you, to whom much is given, that much more is required. What do you think is going to be required of you as a woman to be with a man that's sold out to Jesus? What do you think is going to be required of you of a man that's going to guide, provide, and assume the responsibility? What's going to be required of you? What's going to be required of you being with a man who's not going to run and hide, who's going to be courageous, who's going to be bold, who's going to be faithful? What is going to be required of you to be with a man who is not like most of the men you knew in your entire life, even your father? A lot's going to be required of a woman to be with that kind of man. To whom much is given, that much more is required. And that even goes to women in relationships. So if you get the prize, ladies, guess what? It's going to be a lot required. I'm just saying. So you better be preparing now.
Because an umbrella that is not used, it can be for the rain, for the sun. It shields, it provides shade, it allows what's under it not to be touched. We are the vessel, not weaker. We are the vessel that was meant to let the one that God gave us be held up and used for what he was made. So now, as a wife, I want to say, I don't want to get wet. I don't want to sunburn. My skin's not built for that. So instead, I'm going to let the man be who he was meant to be. And if God gave me, which he did, my man's about as heavy as this table. That means God made me capable of holding him up. If
Tiana said, yes, what she is saying is what I mean by women not being meant to be single. We are not biologically designed to do it alone. Our nervous systems are not built for bearing all that. No, I mean, I agree. And like I said, if a person chooses not to get married, you better be giving your life 100% to the Lord. That's the only consolation that I can think of. Maybe your nervous system will get reset. I don't know, but we need to be married. I believe that marriage brings out the best in the man and the woman when it's done right.
my man is not doing what he was made to do, it's because I, as his wife, am not holding him up. One thing I will credit myself to is that man can come and do what God has him to do, because on the back end, he is being held up and held down. Not about me, but to say this about submission. If you think submission, he is being held up and held down. Not about me, but to say this about submission. If you think submission is because the man is doing what you believe is right for a man to do, then you've missed your assignment before God. God will bless your obedience as being a wife. The Bible's full of it. Ephesians and Corinthians in the Old Testament. Just start looking for them. And please read Love and Respect. It will change your life. Submission does not make you a weaker vessel. It just makes you the part of the machine that is needed to function, but entrusting somebody else's responsibility that's what they were made for, to do what God has made them to do. So I value submission. Submit one to another is not in the same way. He is not going to submit to me the way I'm going to submit to him. That's not even biblical. As he submits to Christ, so I submit to him who has submitted to Christ. If God has made the man the head of the house to love his wife as he is to love the church, God is going to hold him to a standard. God is also going to hold you to a standard. And it's not.
Well, I'm going to say this. Women are the weaker vessels, but it doesn't mean they are weak. I want to clarify. Being the weaker vessel doesn't mean you are weak. Aquaman is not as strong as Superman, but Aquaman is not weak. I'm trying to make this make sense. I'm trying to give a superhero analogy. You have some superheroes that are stronger than others, but they're not weak because they're all superheroes. So the woman being the weaker vessel doesn't mean she's weak. It just means she's weaker than the man. It's a contextual statement.
Not going to be dependent on did you value him or did you do right by him because he did right by you, or you did right by him because you did right by what God commanded you to do. You will see a dynamic transformation inside of your home when you begin to obey his word. Submission is our safety as wives. Submission.
I don't care if you are mad at that man. I don't care what is going on. You still better fix him something to eat. And you still better give him some loving. Because that's going to mean more to that man, I promise you, than anything else. To where if you are upset with him, but you don't stop your wifely duties, that's going to mean more to him than anything else. I'm telling you what I know. And I ain't never been married. I'm just telling you what I know. Janan TV said, what's your opinion on women that go after a man? I tell my sons that's out of order. If they go after you, they will lead you. It is out of order. Have I ever met a girl? Have I ever been with a girl and it worked out that pursued me? No, it's never worked out. And usually women that pursue men want to be in charge in a relationship. They do. So it is out of order. You told your son right. Your son, any man, needs to pursue the woman. Now, I say pursue the woman, I don't mean you become a circus animal. I don't mean jumping through rings of fire. I don't mean you a bear riding a bike around the ring and all. No. I mean you pursue her in a righteous way. That means you say, I like you. I want to get to know you. And here are my standards. That's how you pursue a woman. All this, what the movies done told us and TV and Hollywood and people listen, all this whining and dining. No. Ain't no whining and dining. In the beginning, it should be no whining and dining. Only wine and dining we should be doing is communion. We're going to wine and dine. Grape juice and crackers if we're going to wine and dine. Grape juice or the unleavened bread if we're going to wine and dine. If we're going to wine and dine, we got to get to know each other. I'm telling you, ladies, when a man respects you, when he respects you, he is going to honor you. The world tells you this, it's a maybe, it's a hit or miss. If you get with a man and he is truly a God-fearing man, he is going to honor you. He's going to want to honor you. He's going to want to see you happy. He's going to want to surprise you. He's going to want to be romantic. He's going to want to do this stuff with it because he loves you and he values you that much. But in order to qualify for that man, you are going to have the oil in your lamp. So when he shows up, he can see the light from afar.
Is your safety as a wife, whether you have, because I want to believe if you married him, he has good intentions. Even if he doesn't have, or if you're with him, or if you love him, it's because you believe that's a good person, even if they don't have it together yet. Keep trusting God, but allow your heart to not be tainted if he's doing right by you. God will make him do right by you. God knows how to reach the man that he gave you so that you don't suffer and cry, so your child doesn't suffer and cry, and so you don't live in a house that is just like what you've always seen. You will be the chain breaker of marriages and relationships and love in this life if you just do it God's.
I like this lady. I like her. She has conviction. And that goes a long way, being convicted and being sold out by the things of God. But there is nothing wrong with being the weaker vessel as a woman. That's not a derogatory term. It doesn't mean you're not strong. To me, a woman has to be strong to be with a godly man. I'm going to say this. To be a believer, you have to be strong anyway. Because what we're called to do is not for the weak or the squeamish. So she's strong. If she's a woman of God, she's already strong. So her being the weaker vessel isn't about her being weak. It's about her being weaker than the man. So what's on the man's plate it will shatter her plate, because her plate ain't meant to carry what his plate is meant to carry. It's not a put down. She's not lesser than. The man can't give birth. The man can't carry a baby for 9 months. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Let's continue. Let's continue.
I love you. I love you beyond all limit. With all my strength. With all my heart, I love you. I love you. I love you beyond all limit. With all my strength. With all my heart, I love you. I'm supposed to be this tough and strong, and you done carried me so.
I'm going to start this over. Mountain Woman said, every moment for me with my husband is a teaching moment. It's not about him being educated or smart. It's about knowing his connection to God and what his calling is. Amen. And honestly, ladies, when you're with the man of God, you are going to constantly be learning. When you'll know you're with a godly man because you're constantly learning. I told you all, the adventure that God created was between the man and the woman. We make the adventure. The man and the woman make the adventure, not the world. We make it. Now we together go out in the world and have an adventure, but the adventure is us. We start the adventure with us. We are the adventure. And so what she said is very, very spot on. You'll know you're with the godly man because you will constantly be learning. And he will constantly be teaching, even when he isn't even trying to teach. Okay, let's start over. Thank you.
I love you. I love you beyond all limit. With all my strength. With all my heart, I love you. I'm supposed to be this tough and strong, and you done carried me so many nights.
He turned to a slave, didn't he? You done carried me so many nights. Oh, you done stood by me when I thought I was alone. You done carried me all the way. Listen, ladies, if you meet a guy and he starts sounding like a slave, he's not your husband. I'm just going to be honest with you. If you meet a guy and he says you's done, just cut it off. It's over. I don't care what his attributes are. I don't care if he's 6'4" with a 6-pack, makes 6 figures in a 6 Series BMW. I don't care. If he says you's done, he is not the one.
I love you. I love you. Through the fire. I love you. I love you beyond all limit. With all my strength. With all my heart, I love you. I'm supposed to be this tough and strong when you done carried me so many nights. I love you. Through the fire.
And look at her. Now, do you think Megan Good, what's this guy's name again? What's his name? This actor's name, Jonathan Major. Now, do you think Megan Good, do you think Megan Good respects him? Do you think Megan Good is looking at him, respecting him? You see, what men don't realize and women don't realize is if you get with the woman and you have not corrected her, she's not going to respect you. In other words, if you just take the woman at face value and just start dating her and she's not going to respect you. People respect what you inspect. So that means when you start saying, what were you doing when you was out here doing this? Who you dating? What were you doing? Why you may think, oh, he being sassy. No, trust me. They're going to respect you for that. The guy they don't respect is the guy that just takes them at face value and just does his Jonathan Majors. Because you look good. She with her last husband, the Seventh-day Adventist pastor, Megan Good was married to. I knew it wasn't going to work because I know that he did not correct her. Megan Good has been out in the world, been out in the streets, been in Hollywood. There had to have been a period of correction, of chastening, chastising, forging, a period of breaking down. That didn't happen in their marriage. She wouldn't have married him. She would not have married him. So what I'm telling you all is, ladies, you all can take the easy route and get with the simp, but you're not going to respect him. It's still going to be torture. The beautiful thing about God's system is nobody escapes. You can get the guy that's rich and all of this stuff, but you're not going to be happy. You can get the guy that's a simp, but you're not going to respect him. Like, you're not going to cheat the system. You are not going to cheat God's system. And as a man, you are truly not going to value that woman unless you put her through the fire. I don't mean Jonathan Major's fire. I mean the real fire. The fire with God's word. The fire with God's word. Let's continue. I got so many to choose from.
First of all, this question is one of the hardest questions you can ask just because of women. They've been better than they've ever been. Like before, it's easy to tell a woman stay at home when all you can do is stay home. They used to tell you guys you can't even vote because we don't believe that you have the brain to vote. They used to tell you to stay in the house because you can't actually provide anything when everything was labor.
Yes, sir.
So now, the truth is, like, even though I've been raised understanding and expecting to be the provider, I do understand that you guys have more than you ever have.
Can I get a
You guys have
witness
more
in this
opportunity than you ever
place?
had. And if you want to seek that opportunity, maybe I need to take care of the kids more.
Are you saying that that's something that you'd be okay with? Let's say,
Yeah, I mean, nah, 'cause
you're married to a lawyer. Would you be a stay-at-home dad?
first of all, stay-at-home dad is like, home all the time is crazy.
Yeah. yeah.
Like
Yeah.
home all the time is crazy. But at the same time, that's what I'm saying. Like, I hope women realize this question exists because you guys are better. I mean, it's not because of we're worse. We probably got worse, but we may be worse because we got to deal with you guys getting better. So even if you think we're trash now, we've always been trash. You could just see it because you're here now.
Yeah.
Wise man or foolish man? Wise man or foolish man? Now imagine you saying women are better based on what? What is he basing it on? There are more single mothers than his parents' generation, more single mothers, less marriages, feminism running rampant. So what is he measuring better off of? I'll tell you, careers. He's basing it off of careers. It's disgusting. And he believes that by simping out like this, he's going to get a woman. He doesn't realize they're not going to respect him. What? No woman respects a man that tells her what she wants to hear. Y'all are better and we're trash. Do you think a woman is turned on by a man calling himself trash? Do you think a woman is turned on by hearing a man say, we're trash, you all are better? Foolish. It's disgusting behavior. Because he believes that not setting a standard gives him more access to women. Not setting a standard does give him more access to women. The problem is the women are actually demons, though. Men like this get terrorized by women. They get terrorized by women. Men like this. A woman is only better when she's submitted to God. That's what makes her better than other women. A man is only better when he's submitted to God. That's what makes him better than other men. So this whole no. Your relationship with God is what is qualifying you, not the worldly standard of they have careers now. What that's supposed to mean? Let's continue. Let's continue.
Okay, so this is something that I honestly been pondering on actually for a few years now. I remember what the Bible said about women and you know, like the evil spirit, what the Bible says about the Jezebel spirit and, you know, things I see that women do, things I know and heard that women do. The paternity issue, how these women lay next to a man for years, looking a kid in the eyes for years, knowing there's no relation, how good men get stoned out, how kids are just used for a check. I've come to the conclusion that I think women are just pure evil. Like, I really think women are just pure evil. Women are naturally evil beings, I believe. And only a woman who's honest about our natural nature of being deceptive can change it. Like, for example, I know that naturally there's a selfish, gimme, 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 I want that type of way about me. So, about people, period, but especially women. So if you can't be honest and say that that's in there, then you can't deal with it and address it. And so I've noticed that the women who say they're the dopest, they're the this, they're the that, are usually the worst, because you have to acknowledge the beast in you in order to tame it. And so I really just think most women are natural evil, period. I just think they're evil. And not even just how they deal with men and kids makes them evil, but how they deal with each other. Women are so jealous, deceptive, conniving. Like, you can just feel the evil when you are in the presence of certain women. You can walk in a room and you just feel the daggers. You just feel that demonic spirit. Women are evil. I don't care what nobody say. Women are untrustworthy, deceitful, demonic beings. I said what I said.
So she said a lot. And I'm going to contextualize what she said. So we have a woman's nature and we have a man's nature. If we go to Genesis, the woman's nature is to listen to Satan, and the man's nature is to be a coward. Now, the woman doesn't have to listen to Satan. She doesn't have to want to be like God. This is a choice. The man doesn't have to be a coward. He doesn't have to be the person that's non-accountable. And so when we're talking about the nature of men and women, if left unchecked, the nature of a woman outside of the confines of God, the nature of a man outside of the confines of God, is going to be for the woman to be listen to Satan, and for her to want to be like God, and then for the man to be cowardly and non-accountable. These are what the natures of men and women are outside the confounds of God. Now, I believe that God created us with flaws so that we would have to be tethered to God. We are made perfect through Christ. So if we are perfect without Christ, we don't need Christ. So I believe that God, this is by God's design, so that we would constantly have to go to God. And so many may say, well, all women aren't evil, all women aren't wicked. A woman that is outside of the confines of God is going to be a worldly woman. And if she's a worldly woman, then her nature is running wild. And same with a man. If he's outside of the confines of God, if he's a worldly man, and he's in the world, his nature is going to be running wild. Which is why today you see more Jezebel-like women and more cowardly men. It's because what is supporting God's kingdom on this earth in society? It's slowly but surely eroding. And the more it erodes, the more the nature of men and women rise up. You see, our relationship with Christ subdues our nature. In fact, it changed our nature to where we become spirit. We're born again of spirit. But I understand what she's saying, and I don't want anybody to be offended by what she's saying. But we are outside of the confines of God, and it is what it is.
Will never be with a man that wants to go 50-50, because that's not the type of lifestyle I want to live with a man. I could literally just be by myself and take care of myself
Literally.
100%.
Oh God.
I'm not going to put myself in a position where someone's going to tell me that I have to bring home X amount of money and do these things to be with them.
Like,
I
are
will
you
just
my
be the
pimp?
fuck alone. But then that upsets you guys. Oh, well, you should want to help your partner. You should want to do this. You do what's right for you and I'll do what's right for me. And it's not hard to find a man that is more than willing and happy to take care of financial responsibilities.
Now, what type of man do you think she's going to attract? What type of man do you think she's going to attract? Do you think she's going to attract a God-fearing man? Whether or not the woman works should be up to the husband. What if you all want to meet a financial goal? What if you all want to invest more money? What if you all want to build something? What if you all want to buy a farm? Like, what if you all want to do something that requires more money? Why wouldn't you want to work? If it's a partnership, if the two become one flesh, why would you want to work? Now, again, I'm not saying that you have to work as a wife. I'm saying you're not calling the shots. He is. You're not coming to me telling me you're not going to work. The worst thing a woman can do is tell a man, oh, I'm going to be a housewife. It sounds good to say. No, go to the man and say, do you want me to be a housewife? Do you want me to work? That sounds a lot better than you saying, I'm going to be a housewife. When I know that most of y'all haven't done the work. When I know that most of you all have not done the work. Y'all always want to reference a Proverbs 31 woman. Well, tell me in that Proverbs 31, was she not doing some work? Tell me in that Proverbs 31 where she was not doing some work. You don't come into this thing calling any shots. Baby, do you want me to work? Baby, do you want me to stay at home? You're not going 50-50. If you are not with a God-fearing man, ladies, you're going 50-50. He's sleeping with you and sleeping with Satan. You're still going 50-50. Guarantee the type of man she gets, he's going to be a simp or he's going to be a whoremonger. He is not going to be a godly man. Let's continue.
Women overrate their value, but say a man ain't, but all of them or they are good women.
So a part of what it means to be a man in America, actually a man anywhere that practices like patriarchy, means that you're graded from a very early age on performance. Every aspect of your life, like as a boy, once you hit puberty and you able to like physically perform, you are expected to do so, whether it's in a sport, an instrument, somewhere you expected to physically perform, contribute to your household. So even before matriculation into manhood, performance matters. Under this same system, women are not expected to perform until there's a ring on her finger. Other than that, she is to be prepared for marriage. Do you understand the fine line between the two? So there is no context prior to marriage, historically, that a woman is supposed to be graded on unless she holds some societal position that's valuable. Then she is to be graded on that job and not her presence as a woman. So I just...
That's a lie. And again, so I'm gonna just say this. Black dating advice and relationship advice is the worst on the planet. It is. It's the worst. It's horrible. A woman's value is in her preservation. Women were and have always been based on performance. Don't go out in the world and give your body up. That's always been the standard for women. So that means when a woman was to marry a man back in the day, when they got married, she was supposed to be a virgin. She was supposed to be able to cook. She's supposed to be able to clean. She was supposed to be able to submit to her husband. So her performance was always there. What he's saying is, until she puts a ring on, that's insanity. Today's title is, He That Findeth a Wife. That's insanity. You mean to tell me I'm going to pick a woman and then put the ring on her to unlock the Cracker Jack surprise? I'm going to dig in the Cracker Jack box after marriage? You're insane. Women have always been based on performance. Always. So her mother was making sure that she was going to be suitable to be a wife. Her father was making her suitable to be a wife. She was supposed to be preserving herself and at the same time learning wifely duties and at the same time not tarnishing her reputation. All these things were going on. So the expectation of a woman has always been there. I don't know what this guy is talking about, but the moment he said patriarchy, I already know he was a beta and a simp. No man just says the patriarchy. Think about it. How many times a day do y'all say the patriarchy as a man? For my guys in the chat. How many of you all say the patriarchy? It doesn't even cross your mind. A guy saying the patriarchy is a beta simp cuck.
Just want to put this historical context out there for the fellas who might have felt that with you when you swung, because you swung hard as but as a nigga that done got beat up before, I know that swinging hard does not imply good form.
I understand.
It does not imply aim, nor does it imply that you about to win the fight. Brother, I pray for you, because you seem like a solid brother outside of the moment that we just met you in.
Right.
I'm gonna go away now. Perhaps far. Because it might get greasy out here.
Again, if a man sets the standard, then he has to hold the woman to a standard. If the man sets the standard, then he has to hold the woman to a standard. So that means that just like the man has to prove himself, so does the woman. What's up, Chad? Chad says, Black people think that they can just say stuff say stuff and be seen as wise and profound. Listen, this is what Black people do all of the time. This is why social media is dominated by Black people, because Black people sound wise and profound. They sound wise and profound, and they are not. Most of the time, they are not. What they're saying just sounds good. Let me play this video. Let me play this one.
Much as I love like the look of a Black man, it is a lot from background and the culture behind it,
Yes.
like the work ethic, the hustle, like
Man.
all these things really just, as much as people want to focus on the fact that they're Black
Right.
and they have a different skin tone than me, I am looking beyond that,
What you
way
looking at, Simone?
deeper than that.
How
Like I
deep you
said, the
going?
culture, the
Yeah.
upbringing, the language.
Come on now.
Whatever.
You like that
you know,
slang, how we adjust our words, ebonics? You like that?
all of that. And like
Isn't
I
it
said,
charismatic?
the music, the
You like the-
movies,
keep going.
the style.
Keep going. Don't stop now. We got enough
The
time to keep.
haircuts.
Ooh, the haircuts? God damn, what else?
Do you know what? Like
What?
for years, right? I never was into dreads.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like they're growing on
Now she liking dreads out this mother. Man, the natural man. Shout out to Bob Marley, you nappy head mother. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. If I marry a white woman, I'm only going to marry a white woman that's racist. Know that might sound crazy, but if she ain't racist, I'm not going to want to talk to her. Because what this woman just described was utter foolishness and nonsense as to why she likes black men. Haircuts, ebonics, swag, dreads, like it's foolishness. It's all propaganda and programming. If you see me with a white woman, and y'all see me, I'm married to a white woman, she racist. She's racist. Because there's no way I'm about to get with, because most people that they outside of their race, most of the time, not all the time, a lot of times, they're liberal. Most white women that like black men are liberal white women. Because look what she said she's attracted to. Foolishness. It's foolishness. It's utter. Look what she said. Watch. Oh, look.
Just I love like the look of a black man. It is a lot from background and the culture behind it,
Yes.
like the work.
The background, foolish. The culture, propaganda. The work ethic, trash.
As much as I love like the look of a black man, it is a lot from background and the culture behind it,
Yes.
like the work ethic, the hustle, like
Man.
all these things really just, as much as people want to focus on the fact that they're black
Right.
and they have a different skin tone than me, I am looking beyond that,
What you
way
looking at, Simone?
deeper than that.
How
Like I
deep you
said, the
going?
culture,
Yeah.
the upbringing, the language.
The upbringing, he was raised in a single parent household. The upbringing, he has his mother's spirit. The upbringing, he was literally raised in a single parent household.
Come on now.
Whatever,
You like that
you know.
slang, how we adjust our words, ebonics? You like that?
All of that. And like
Isn't
I said,
it charismatic?
the music, the
You like the-
movies,
keep going.
the style.
Keep going.
The music, the movies, the style. Do you hear this? And he's so lame, and somebody even said it, he's too dumb to be offended. Do you hear what she's saying? You are a caricature. You have been dehumanized. Everything she's saying is propaganda and programming. I will not date a white woman unless she is racist. And I'm serious. I don't want no liberal, non-melanated, brown-skinned woman. I don't. Period.
Don't stop now. We got enough
The
time to keep.
haircuts.
Ooh, the haircuts? God damn, what else?
Do you know what? Like
What?
for years, right? I never was into dreads.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like they're growing on
Now she liking dreads out this mother. Man, the natural man. Shout out to Bob Marley, you nappy head mother. Yeah.
Again, the reason why a lot of white women cannot pick a good black man is because of this reason right here. This very reason right here is that most black women aesthetically pick black men. They pick them on stupid stuff like culture, swag, appearance. It's just dumb, stupid, shallow stuff. So she'll always pick the wrong black guy. She wouldn't even like, think about this, she wouldn't even like a conservative black man. Think about this. she wouldn't even like a conservative black man. Think about that. She would not like a God-fearing conservative black man. So that means what she likes is foolishness. That's why I tell y'all, most interracial relationships are liberal relationships. If I meet the white woman, I want her to be racist. I'd rather work from her being racist. We meet, I'd rather work from her being racist than this. Because I guarantee it's going to be harder for her to come to terms that way than this. It's easier to convert a racist white woman than it is for this liberal white woman. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. And to be honest with you, if I got, right, Ms. Gray, they both stupid. But if I got with a white woman or a woman who wasn't black at all, I'm just saying, she would be considered racist. Any woman that's outside of my perceived race that likes me, folks gonna think she's racist. Think about it. If she agrees with me, they're gonna think she's racist. So that's why I make the statement. I'd rather just, if she ain't racist, I don't want her. Thank you, ALL Productions. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you again. Hello, Mr. Blanchard. Hope all is well with you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Janan TV read her question before. What's your opinion on women that go after a man? I tell my sons that that's out of order. If they go after you, they will lead you. True. And Cruz Mitchell, thank you so much. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Listen, I love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you so much to Goddess Navi for moderating. Listen, I want y'all to be blessed. I want you all to, if you're not married and you want to be married, to hopefully find someone that is God-fearing, that loves the Lord. If you are married, I hope your marriage is more blessed. I love y'all and I wish the best for y'all. I truly do. I truly do. But just don't settle. Just don't settle. That's all I ask, that you all do not settle. And it may be uncomfortable in the beginning, but I promise you, if you don't settle, you're going to win in the end. Listen, I love y'all, and I'll see you all on Saturday. Thank y'all so much.